start running this 50 amp. We're gonna tie in here. We're gonna plumb through here. Look at this. Dug into this wall. That's about rat poop. And then we'll route this underneath the house. And then we'll use our handy dandy 3/4. We'll go through the 2x underneath. And we got 2x6 floor joist. And we'll plumb it underneath the floor. Tiny crawl space on this place. All the way to over here. Up and in the double J-box there. And here is our tiny crawl space that we're gonna go in. Inside, we got maybe up there, maybe 2 foot of clearance, and then down here about 3 foot. And then you can see our wire drop down from before. And then what we did is just plumbed it all the way across. And then punched into the kitchen. We're gonna do the same with this 50 amp. We made it in. It's like Shawshank Redemption. We're gonna dig out. Just kidding. But we are gonna take this drill and our 50 amp. I'll show you how we did this 20 amp. Boy. You can see, just plumbed it all the way down. Yeah, that's dirt, you see. Sorry. Anyway. First drill, battery died. Lovely. But we got 50 foot of 6-gauge wire down here. Woohoo! This is what happens when you leave the driver all the way down at the main house. You get to walk all the way down the driveway to the main cabin to get tools. And it's a constant back and forth, back and forth. Let's look what these kids are doing. What are you doing? Digging for bones? Fossils? This is where our chickens used to be. This looks like a corn cob or a pine cone or something.
I don't know what it is, but I found it.
So we're always finding stuff out here at the property. This is something the kids found. It's an old moose shed I found. But they dug this up today. It was like a piece of old pottery or something. Maybe an old bowl.
And I found this, JJ Bean.
Who's JJ Bean? Well, that's some kind of pine cone. And we got the driver and the battery. And it's back up the hill. Down the hill, up the hill. Down the hill, up the hill. That's what happens when you work up here. Most of the work I've been doing at the main cabin. But I'm about done down there, so when that's wrapped up, I try to help out up here as much as possible. And this crawl space, every time I crawl out of this thing, I feel like I'm being born again. All right, so we got our 50 tapped in. Just finished with the set screw or set retaining nut, whatever you want to call this thing. Can't even see it, but anyway, it's back there. And then this is 6.2, so we're gonna run a 50 amp off of that. I've still got to get under the house and plumb everything through. I actually had to drill out that little retaining nut piece for that wire. And then she's gonna start on some patching. Still got some plumbing to finish up there. We're gonna have an internal that'll go to sink, and then we'll have an external that'll go to outdoor faucet. Got to figure out a frost-free option on that. And then she started cutting second shelf for this whole cabinet piece today. So we're about halfway done. This is what we got left. this is where we're going. Down here, we're gonna plumb out and then come back in on the top side. A little weird how this thing was built. You would think you could just drill straight down, but inside the wall is actually dumping elsewhere. Like 6 inches outside of that. But I'm freaking tired. But we'll get her done today. Being born again. Yep. Yep. And we're out. Jesus. All right, so we got our fish tape coming out now. If you've never seen one of these, pretty cool tool. You can't always use them. They don't exactly work well inside of walls because you got insulation, stuff like that. But if you got short ways to go, I would say less than 3 feet, maybe 5 feet. Or really depending where you're going. They come in pretty handy. You fish it through, you take your wire, tape it to it, and then pull it through. Especially a place like this where I can't see the hole I'm trying to go to, and I definitely can't fish my wire through it. This will come in handy to remember on these is once you tape your wire to it, try to give yourself somewhat of a cone or a funnel coming in. Well, it goes from bigger to smaller. That'll help you out, especially if these wires try to get hung up coming through the hole or whenever you're fishing through. Going from big to small definitely helps. This is what you'll see on the other side. This is our fish tape. That's 50 foot of it. I would never use 50 foot of fish tape, but you can see we've pulled here, and then we've got our wire coming through. And it's gonna be a pain. And we got it through, and as you can see, we've got about maybe 3 or 4 foot left over. When you're measuring this stuff, better to have more than not enough, especially when it's $4 to $5 a foot. 6 gauge wire is not cheap, especially right now with the cost of construction. So we're gonna wire this 50 amp in for this little stove. Yeah, it's a little stove. It's a 24-inch stove, but still 50 amp. All right, one of the hardest parts about working with 6 gauge wire is stripping it. Because you have all those wires inside of one. Anyway, we're there now. We're gonna put this plug on. All right, so on our plug, look at our diagram. So we got Y, X, and W. So W being the ground, Y and X being our hot. So our hot in this case, we're running 6-2, which is a 3-wire including ground. So our hots are going to be our black and our white. Normally white serves as neutral and you have black and red hot, but on a 3-wire or 6-2, black and white's going to be your hot, and then obviously you'll have your ground. So our ground is going to W, and then our hots are going to go to Y and X. Cool. Maybe next time this thing will be done, I'll give y'all a look at it. It's coming along good, ain't it? And this is the gorilla cart for the Airbnb that the kids have made their own. What y'all doing?
We're dumping stuff.
Huh?
We're dumping stuff. First is people, then is toys.
And this the dirty little stove. Let's go in there. Pick this thing up for how much?
$300.
Was it? Yeah, some attorney office downtown. They weren't even using it. We got the drawer inside, but super cool. GE.
Found it.
She's always finding deals. Look at these kids. I just put these signs up for the Airbnb. I'm gonna put some stickers on that say Airbnb. We got 2 parking spots on the property. One for winter and one for the other 3 seasons. You can barely see that thing. It's way, way up there through the trees. You can see the peak of the roof.